Welcome, Kletus Ray's Roadside Service. I'm your host, Kletus Ray. We're having a great Monday. Had a great weekend, even though it was only half of a weekend because I had to drive back from Arkansas on Saturday, but still had a really good time on Sunday. It was worth it. Um, had the dog. She is warmed up to me now. Not fully. She's not warmed up to really anybody fully except for my son, which is weird because he's slightly skittish, but he still is laughing and having a good time the whole time with the dog. But no, like I gotta I gotta grab a hold of her harness to get near me sometimes. But if I'm sitting on the couch, she'll jump up on the couch and let me pet her and stuff. She's pretty good like that. But we went over to my mom's house. My mom is allergic to dog saliva. She's not. I guess the dander doesn't really affect her at all. I don't know. I've still been kind of confused on how she's allergic when we had dogs up until 1998. We had dogs until I was like 8 years old. We had dogs, and then all of a sudden she decided she was allergic. I was like, what the fuck? So I always thought it was a lie, but I don't know. I guess I just figured it out last night because my sister would bring dogs over to her house, and she would be around my dogs every now and again. But I was like, what is going on? How are you allergic? And then I finally got the notice yesterday. It was, oh, well, it's because if the dog licks her, she's going to break out into hives. But the dander doesn't really do much. I'm like, oh, so you're not really allergic to dogs. You just don't want them to lick you. That's fine. She's like, well, they can't lick my hands and stuff. I'm like, wear gloves. I don't know. I wanted a dog so bad growing up. And then as soon as I moved out, well, as soon as I got my own place, I had dogs. All right, who's yielding to who here? Jesus, you can't come off the highway fucking bombing down the on ramp and then expect me to fucking change my course for you. Fucking he's even driving a Silverado. Can you believe it? But it was a newer Silverado, so fucking it could have been a fucking nerd or something. I don't know. Um, yeah. So last night, not last night, Saturday night, I made it to work. Um, the drive went fine. Yeah, it got dark. I did stop by the house. I feel like I've already talked about this. Maybe I haven't. Stop by the house. Just need an excuse to stop by the house. And the dog would not touch me at all. It was freaking out. It thought I was gonna murder and rob the place. I was like, "This is my house, dog." Um. So then I made it. Yeah, I just stopped by the house to drop off like my cooler and some dirty clothes and shit, just so all I have is like my work bag. And I just wanted an excuse to see the kids before they had to go to bed and everything. Um, but then I drove the rest of the way to work. Everything went fine. Got in my truck. I forgot that I needed to get gas. So went down to the Quick Trip. And who do I see at the Quick Trip? I don't even remember his name. But I see a guy in a 1994 Chevy 3500 dually. It's two-wheel drive, but it's dually. And I see him at the gas pump, and I pull in, and I make it obvious that I drive a 5-speed, especially around people that are driving older Chevys or even older Fords or Dodges or whatever, because I'm like, you know You can't drive one of these trucks and not know something about them and have a little bit of sense with you, okay? Because I mean, these trucks are so old now. They're not on the road unless somebody wants them on the road. You know, the ones that go to the landfill, they've been sitting for a while, or not landfill, but scrapyard, whatever. And I'm like, somebody just doesn't know. They just don't know. Okay, they're ignorant, and they're sending off these beautiful trucks to get turned into scrap metal. I can't believe it. So, anyways, I pull in directly next to him. You know, I'm downshifting as I'm pulling in and everything. And pull in, and him and the other dude, they're just sitting there talking. I pumped my gas, and then I was done, but I fiddled with some shit in my truck for a little bit, uh, just waiting for them to come back out. They came back out. I said, "Dude, you got a beautiful truck here," and there's a gold, not gold, silver and red two-tone, beautiful truck, and it still had the old dash in it. And I don't know, there's something about the old style dashes, the pre 96 dash, 88 to 95. Oh, no, not 95, 88 to 94. That dash style, because I had a 95 Suburban that still had the TBI engine, but it had the newer dash in it. But I know Suburbans are kind of different. For some reason, they ran a different timeline than some other trucks. Uh, but anyways, the his is a 5-speed also, but he's got a 454 big block with the NV 4500, and I got a NV 3500. I don't even know if that's correct. I'm not super good on the terms and shit, but I know I got the light duty 5-speed, and he's got the heavy duty 5-speed. And we just sat there and talked and talked and talked, and I don't know, probably a half hour went by. We're just talking about old trucks and stuff, and then I look in his passenger seat, and he's got Raising Cane's chicken strips sitting there. I was like, "Oh no, dude, you got to get out of here." He's like, "Why?" I was like, "You got food getting cold. I'm so sorry to sit here. I'll talk to you all day. You better get out of here with that Raising Cane's. Feed your mama, because you got to get out of here." So I don't want to be the reason for somebody to eat cold chicken strips. You know. Um, I did. Oh, and then after that, I went home. Nothing crazy happened. Just kind of laid around. Got the dog did warm up to me after that, and I was able to lay and pet the dog. But yeah, Sunday morning woke up, and yeah, my wife was correct, like she always is, on anything and everything. Just in case she hears this, she's like, "Oh yeah, with my son, the dog, and my son, you know, as soon as he comes out of the room, she gets wound up. She's just so excited to see him. Doesn't matter if she comes out, doesn't matter if my daughter comes out, obviously me, doesn't matter. She's still kind of docile, but once my son comes out, she's like, "Oh, hell yeah, let's play." And it's just super cute, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad. And she's got her nails trimmed recently, which is really convenient because I know them puppy claws and the puppy teeth, they can all be really fucking sharp and really turn kids off, if you know what I mean. You know, where he's like, "I don't want that dog near me ever again," type of situation. But no, they're trimmed, so it's just like a big old, it's like getting hit with a beanie baby. Just big old paws. Um, and yeah, I took the dog over to my mom's house, which, yeah, my wife was like, "No, let's not take her. She's not good with crowds and stuff." I was like, the best thing for a dog that's not good with a lot of people is to bring it around a lot of people. I was like, we need to bring this dog. I want her to be social. I want her to be able to be comfortable in multiple environments. It's part of good training. I think sheltering her isn't a good idea. And now I feel bad for my other two dogs because they don't get to go. You know, they're just little fucking. They're Ren and Stimpy is what I should have named them. Ren and Stimpy. I don't know which one's Ren. Ren is probably Winnie, and Stimpy is definitely Murphy. They're they're basically. You ever seen that show Cat Dog, where they're conjoined? That's what these two are. They are just joined at the hip. They hate each other, but they just stick around each other all the time. And but they're good. I love them. I love them wholeheartedly. They're my babies. But we know how they are with people, and this is a puppy. I want to get this puppy acclimated. But that's not saying, because I think we're going to start going to the dog park. Uh, I think that's going to be really good to go to the dog park often, and we're gonna bring the little ones along with us, just because there's no reason not to. But usually the dog park that I had been to before, they have like a little dog area and a big dog area. So I'm gonna probably just send my wife and my kids over to the big dog area and let her run around and let them, be the masters. And I'll take the little dogs to the little dog area, and they're just gonna be like, where the fuck are we? Why are you picking up my shit? Um, but yeah, I was like, no, it's gonna be fine, and it was perfectly fine. She's on like a retractable leash, so it's like super long, not super long. It's like 20 feet, a 20-foot leash that's retractable, and I tied it around the deck, one of the deck posts, so we could go inside and eat. Because this dog will sit there and beg, but it's not a big deal. But I just tied her around the deck and she was able to just roam around the backyard a little bit and underneath the deck and everything, have a good time. There's all kinds of well, it's a pretty clean yard, but there's a lot of leaves and shit, and she seemed to like to rustle up the leaves and stuff, and basically just hang out. She did really good. We went inside, we ate, and then we came back out and let the kids get on the big tree swing, and uh, the dog running around. The dog did get hit by the swing once. I kept trying to get her away from the swing, but I'm trying to hold the dog leash and swing my son at the same time, and the dog got a little too close and got hit by the swing, and I was like, oh no, and I laid her down on her back and I just gave her a bunch of belly rubs. She's fine. She's all right. She's a puppy. She can deal with it. um and yeah, my mom she's like, that is such a good dog. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, this is the best dog you've ever had. I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? First, I hate when people, I don't hate people. I hate when people act like they know things about your personal life when they don't. And it's like, you don't even know my dogs. You never wanted to see my dogs. Every time I would even try to attempt to bring the dogs over, you'd say, no, I'm allergic. You can't have them here. They're like, they're wild. I'm like, they're not wild. They're not wild. All right, well, they are a little wild, but that's only at the very beginning because they're not used to seeing people because you never fucking come over to my house. Okay. But they always settle down. Like all the dogs, they've always settled down. They are little, they never jump on people. They don't like, they just want to get petted the whole time. They're like, oh, friends are here to pet me. Let's fucking go. And apparently you aren't the right friends, is what it is. Because real friends want to pet me, is what the dogs are thinking. And if you're not going to pet me, then we're not friends. Just kidding. The dogs don't think that at all. It doesn't matter how you treat these dogs. They're like, friend, friend, friend. But no, she did good. She didn't bark once. She didn't do anything. I let her off the leash inside the house, and she's just walking up and down the hall, looking around, looking at this, looking at that, and just being really calm. And then laid on the carpet in the middle of the floor, just laid there and let everybody look at her. And then we had to go to. Well, we were kind of debating on going over to my wife's mom's house, and I was like, we're not taking the dog. They are not dog people. They don't give a shit about dogs. I don't understand people like that. I think we would get along a lot better if they did like dogs, but they don't like dogs at all. I don't know what it is. I'm like, how do you not like dogs? Who in this world doesn't like dogs? What's wrong with you? You need to get on some methylene blue if you don't like dogs. Okay? I don't know that I don't think that would do anything. You need you need to go outside a little bit if you don't like dogs. Okay? You need to get some sun. You're vitamin deficient if you don't like dogs. There's something going on in your brain, chopping wieners off and stuff. Okay? You like dogs? You got to like dogs. Dogs are great. Anyways, I'm just defending dogs. I'm really defendant upon dogs. I like dogs a lot. Um, Now I'm cautious around dogs. Dogs I don't know because I've had dogs and I'm like, yeah, you can't just run up inside of some dog's cage. They don't know you. You gotta know how to be, and you gotta know when to stick your hand out. And but I've always felt like if I get bit, that's on me. Okay. Now, but if my kids get bit, that's a different story. But if I get bit, I did something. Okay, I'm not going to blame the dog. The dog is just, protective or threatened, and you can do all you want to try to not be threatening around a dog, but you're not going to be able to change the way that dog feels all the time. And you just got to know when to walk away and not pet that dog. Okay, you can't pet that one. Sometimes you can't pet a dog. I still love them. They're all still great in many ways. Uh, so we had to drop the dog off at the house, but she's so good, and let her out, let her take a shit and a piss, then locked her up because she's kennel trained. She's got a pretty big kennel, and we're gonna work it, while she's a puppy and she's still getting used to like how the house runs, because I don't want her just leaving presents for us whenever we get home. And if she does leave a present, I'd rather it be contained. And I'd rather just go ahead and give her a bath and wash one small area of the house. You never know what could happen. The dog could shit and scrub it all the way down the hallway. And then it's like, fuck! And then paw prints all over the place. It's like, oh no, the whole house is ruined. We gotta move. This is done. So, anyways, I don't really like the kenneling, but I have to for right now. But eventually, we're gonna work our way out of it. I think she's gonna be just a good old dog. She's already showing a lot of smarts and stuff. Like I said, she knows she'll sit and shake and high five. She's already and at 4 months, and I think she could do a lot more by the time she's 5 months. And I'm excited to hone her learning abilities. But we went over to her mom's house, and her mom, she's always got an opinion. First off, they don't like dogs. So anytime anybody ever gets a dog, they think that's the wrong decision. And we've had a lot of dogs in the past. We're down to two. We have not. The last dog that we got was Winnie, and that was before the kids were born. And it just seems, I don't know. My wife, she's real defensive about it. Where people are like, "You got another dog?" It's like, what are you talking about? We lost two, and we haven't had a new dog in 6 years. Over almost 7 years, we haven't had another dog. So she gets real defensive about it, but it's people that don't come over to our house and ever see the way things are, they just They just think we live in a fucking barn or something. I don't know. A barn with a bunch of stray animals coming in and out. Just like we all wear aprons full of dog food and like corn and shit, walking around just spreading it along our floors, some shit. You know, like yeah, we have a hay rake and a fucking dung shovel, just hanging on the wall in our house. I don't know what they think, but that's the way she thinks everybody sees us. It's obviously not that. Like, no, we it, it's a normal house, I would say. So, we went over to their house, and then they wanted to go out for Grandma's birthday to a Mexican restaurant, so we went out there, and holy moly, chimichanga out of the freezer, not that great. Chimichanga from a Mexican restaurant, holy shit! It's just a big deep fried burrito. I know this is a cheat meal. It is. It is a cheat meal. Fuck, dude. I know I'm fucking not strong enough. Okay, I'm not strong enough. I need to get. Things have not been normal. Well, I don't know. Nothing's ever normal, but I feel like things need to settle down a little bit, and I'm gonna get back into the groove, which I already kind of am in the groove. I'm doing all right, but I did eat a chimichanga last night with rice, just like against what I'm trying to do dietitian wise. Um, but it was fucking delicious, and I couldn't eat it all. I could not eat it all. It was too much. So that's saying something. The food wasn't in the diet book, but I I didn't eat a whole plate of food, which was weird. It was super weird. There wasn't even enough to take home, and I didn't want to take anything home anyways because it's like this ain't this ain't dietitian wise. This ain't the good stuff. But it was delicious. I ate that, and we had a good time. We had a really good time. Usually, Grandma and her aunt, great aunt. Um, I've never been to a restaurant with them where they haven't sent the food back. They doesn't matter what it is. Like they got a cheeseburger once, and she's like, "I asked for this with no cheese." And then it's like the cheese isn't even melted. It's not like it's on top. Like I don't know. It's like you could just take the cheese off. She sent the whole fucking burger back and was like, "I want it remade." She's a heavy smoker. This aunt of hers. I want it remade, and she ordered like I don't know. She ordered some. She This is a different restaurant. She had fries or something. She's like, "These fries are too spicy." They're like, they just have salt on them. She's like, "They're too spicy, and your ketchup's too spicy too." It's like the ketchup's too spicy. It's just like Heinz ketchup. What are you talking about? It's too spicy. I need a refill. I need a refill. This water, it has too much ice in it. It's too cold. I need a. She sends everything fucking back every time. It's unreal. And this time she didn't send anything back, but she did sit there and bitch about her food. These fucking people, they didn't put any meat in my what's it called? The little fucking wrapped up thing. It's like wrapped up in cornstalk. Whatever the fuck that is? My enchilada has no fucking meat in it. This fucking place sucks. It's like shut the fuck up. You ordered 3 of them. Okay, just eat a different one. This one fucking has no meat in it. Can you can you tell the chef to put some meat in this one? Actually, just remake the plate. No, I was waiting for her to say something like that. She didn't, which was surprising. But yeah, that's old aunt, and she's been around a while. You can't talk to her for too long. But part of the whole deal. Like, as I sat on the other side of the table from my family, like, I don't know, we all sat down. I thought everybody was going to sit in the same spot. And then, of course, uh, fucking mother-in-law, she's like, hey, you kids need to go sit down there. And then Sam, yeah, go sit down there with them. And I'm like, why the fuck am I over here next to you? I sat right next to her, and she kept, like, saying, scoot over, scoot over. I'm like, why do I need to scoot up? There's plenty of room. Everybody's got elbow room. Now I have no elbow room if I scoot over to you. She's like, scoot over, scoot next to me, scoot up. I'm like, bitch, get the fuck off of me. Let me be a man and fucking sit at the goddamn table. Scoot over. Here, pass these menus. Hey, does everybody have silverware? Kevin, pass these silverwares down. I'm like, bitch, quit. I'm not your fucking slave. I shouldn't be sitting over here. I should be sitting over there next to my kids where they're all laughing and having a good time. I'm over here next to fucking grandma and aunt's over here like, have you ever seen the show Landman? I'm like, no, I haven't seen Landman. It's a good show. It's made by the same guy that made 1883, and 1883 was a good show. I'm like, yeah, I know it was. She's like, have you ever seen it? I was like, I did see it. She's like, do you remember episode 3? Whenever they, I'm like, no, I don't remember. I don't remember. Yeah, and they also made 1923. It's made by the same guy. I'm like, I know it's made by the same guy. I'm like, and you know that other show? That's made by the same guy too. You should watch them. I'm like, I've watched them. Didn't really get into the one with Harrison Ford all that much. Harrison Ford, he's such a cutie. You should watch it. You really need to watch it. I'm like, hey, shut the fuck up. Let me eat my chimichanga. Okay? Fuck, Aunt. Holy shit. And then we were walking out, and I grabbed my dip can, and I started putting the dip in. She's like, you motherfucker. I'm like, what? She's like, there's not, how do you get to chew inside and I can't smoke inside? I was like, because I'm not fucking spitting in your mouth, okay? Like, you shouldn't be able, if I can't smoke in here, you shouldn't be able to chew in here. I'm like, you won't even know I'm fucking chewing, okay? Leave me alone, okay? What's up with y'all? And then grandma, she's like, fucking David came over again last night. Oh, no, grandma doesn't talk like that. So I'm sorry, grandma. David came over last night. He just left a bunch of shit on my porch. I don't know who the fuck David is, but apparently he's been around for a while, and he's homeless on a motorcycle, and just goes from house to bar, leaving shit all over the place. He left a bunch of shit all over my front porch last night. I'm gonna throw it in the dumpster. I'm like, oh god, you're gonna get murdered. Be careful with that fuck. Homeless weirdos on motorcycles. You gotta watch out for them. I had some. I don't know if they were homeless or not, but they were not in a home when I seen them. Most people on a motorcycle, I don't see them at their home, but I see them on a motorcycle. But it's a story from back in the day. I lived with my buddy, my Florida boy buddy, and just, I don't know. I lived with him, and I had a spare room or whatever. And me and him did some drinking in the garage that night, and then we went to bed. Well, he went to bed, so then I decided to go to bed because he'll just disappear. Once you get drinking with this dude, he'll be like, oh, I'll be right back. And then it'll be like 2 hours later, and you're just sitting there by yourself in the garage, nursing a beer, waiting for him to come back. And then you're like, you go around, look for him, and he's in bed sleeping. And it's like, oh, all right, I guess we're done. I thought, you could have just said, I'm not coming back. But you said you were coming back, and I waited for you. I was loyal. Anyways, I went to bed, and I fall asleep, and then I wake up to somebody shaking me, and it's his fiance. His fiance is like, because I slept up against, I had just a bed on the floor, no box springs, or no, I had box springs and a mattress. It was just laid on the floor. Why do you need a frame anyways? Anyway, it was always pushed up against the wall, and I like to sleep against the wall at that point in time. I really don't like it now. I don't know why I changed. But she was in my bed on top of me shaking. I'm like, whoa, what are you doing? What are you're not in love with me. What are you doing in here in my bed? She's like, there's people outside. I was like, there's people out. Okay, tell them to go away. She's like, they won't go away. They keep knocking on the door and ringing the doorbell. I was like, oh shit. So I got out of bed and I looked out my window, and sure enough, there's two motorcycles in the rain. It's raining. I got to open scale here. It's raining down. Uh, oh, the scale is closed now. Hell fucking yeah. Hell yeah, dude. I've never seen it change from open to closed on me. It's changed from closed to open on me a couple times, but hell yeah, I don't have to stop there. Um, so she wakes me up. I look out the window. I see motorcycles in the rain and guys. And there's one guy on the porch and two guys down next to my truck and my buddy's truck. And he had an 83 Silverado short bed 2-wheel drive, blue. And I had a 78 Silverado short bed 4-wheel drive, brown. And they were down there. They were talking about the trucks and shit. And I just opened the window. I was like, what? What? What are you what? And they're like, come out here. I was like, no, go away. And they're like, no. I'm like, fuck. So part of me is feeling like I forgot part of this story. Um, and I don't know, they were like on the porch, walking around all our cars and shit. And it was like 3 in the morning, pouring down rain, and they're banging on our door. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And so she's scared shitless. I try to get my buddy up because he's, another male, which would be nice to have in a fighting situation or a home invasion type of situation. It'd be nice to have him. He would not fucking wake up. I was hitting this dude, shaking the fuck out of him, rolled him onto the floor out of bed. Nothing would wake this guy up. I was like, he might be dead. I don't know. But I got other things to deal with right now. If he's dead, he's dead. I gotta fucking there's everybody else is gonna be dead if I don't fucking do something. So, anyways, they got on their motorcycles and they took off, and I called the non-emergency number, and I said, hey, there were people on my porch banging on the door, and they left. They're on motorcycles, and it's raining. They're like, yeah, it's raining. I was like, yeah, I know it's raining. They're like, why are they on motorcycles when it's raining? I'm like, I don't know why they're fucking weird is what they are. They're on motorcycles, though. Fucking, it's like 3 guys and 2 motorcycles. And they said, okay, we'll send somebody out. And so I'm sitting there and, just waiting for the cops to show up. And then eventually the cops do show up. And they come, knock on the door, and I open the door. They're like, there's a 911 hang-up call from here. I was like, no. There was a 911 non-emergency call from here. I called the non-emergency line. Like, no, there was a 911 hang-up call from here. I was like, no. I called the non-emergency line. And I reported that there were some fucking weirdos banging on our door. They're like, we had a 911 hang-up call, and it came from this house. I was like, all right, maybe it did. Doesn't change the fact that I wanted you guys to come here. There are fucking guys, they're like, what were they wearing? I was like, fucking, I don't know, assless chaps and leather jackets? Fuck if I know. There's dark out. Can you see? I can't even see what you're wearing, and you're standing in front of me. Gonna guess you're in a police uniform. All right, where'd they go? I was like, well, you can fucking hear them, and you could hear them in the neighborhood, fucking just ripping through the neighborhood. I'm like, they're right over there. They're like, did you call 911 and hang up? I was like, I called the non-emergency line. What the fuck is wrong? What is going on here? What are you guys doing? Are you harassing me? Are you part of the biker crew? Do you want to come in and fucking rob us? I don't know. Are you police? It was fucking weird. Anyways, right after that, I went and I bought a shotgun. Just and then we woke up the next day and tried to explain. Me and her tried to explain this to my buddy, and he's like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "No, it's not okay. You need to fucking wake up, man. You need to wake up. Could have been fucking bad." And yeah, we started talking to the neighbors. They were like, "Yeah, we heard some stuff, but we didn't. Nothing ever happened here." They're like, "The weird thing is the house that you guys are in. There used to be a drug dealer used to live there." Like, "Oh, wonderful." They're like, "Yeah, you." So they probably thought he still lived there, and they were coming to hang out with him or something. I was like, "These guys were not trying to hang out. These guys were, these guys were trying to collect. Not good." Anyways, I don't know. I don't know if that's a very interesting story or not. It seems pretty interesting to me. But yeah, that's what happened. But yeah, I mean, whenever she was waking me up, I was like, "What the fuck is going on here? I had no idea you were into me like that. What is going on? Me and you can't do this. This can't happen. I'm just trying to wake your ass up. These fucking people." I'm like, "Oh shit." I was like, I had a big range of emotion going on upon being woken up. Half drunk, slightly aroused, and then turned off, and then fear, fear. But yeah, that was a weird time. I moved out of there, and that's when I got my first dog. Is when I moved out of there. It was sometime in 2013. I don't know. It's probably like October 2013. I moved out, and then I got my own place as a duplex, and I moved in, and I wanted a dog because my buddy I talked about getting a dog with him, and he was like, "No, man, you can't have a dog, man." I'm like, "The fuck?" He's like, "Yeah, you can't have a dog." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" The living with your friend and being friends, like sleeping over at their house, is totally different. Because I would sleep over at his house all the fucking time, and we were great. Moving in with him, it was okay, but he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna cancel your cable in your room." I'm like, "Why?" Like, because the rate went up. I was like, "Okay, well, I mean, I could just pay you the difference in the rate." It's like, "No, we're gonna cancel it." I'm like, "What?" But I watch TV in my room a lot. He's like, "We have TV in the living room." I'm like, "All right, I'd rather just pay you $7 extra a month. I really would." He's like, "Nah, man." And then it started getting it like whenever I moved in, he's like, "Yeah, don't worry about." He's super excited to have me there, and I was super excited to get there too. And it was just like things changed once you got in there because I was there, and he's like, "Oh yeah, don't worry about food. We go to the commissary because his fiance's dad is a high ranking in the Air Force, so they go to the commissary because she has military ID or something like that." And he's like, "We go to the commissary, we get really good rates on food and stuff, so don't worry about getting any food or anything unless there's something you want. You just tell us and we'll get it and everything." And but then a few months after that, he's like, "You need to start pitching in for money for that." I'm like, "I will." I had a lot of money back then. I wasn't making a lot of money, but I also didn't have any bills at all. I didn't have like anything going on. I was like, but I was still cheap with stuff. But I was like, I want to buy this truck, and it was $1,500, and it took me like less than a month from the time I decided to buy the truck to have an excess of $1,500 to go buy this pickup truck and put fucking speakers and sound system and tent and all kinds of shit on it. And I was able to do like anything and everything I wanted to do. Is actually a really cool time in my life. And I was like, I can afford whatever, man. But I don't know. It just, I don't know. He's a great guy. I love him. He's one of my best friends. He now lives in Florida, But um, don't want to live with them again. Don't want that shit going on. You know, it's weird. It's a weird thing. Um, yeah. So Sunday night, we just went home and we just kind of hung out. Nothing really happened after that. Um, woke up and then today I'm driving vac truck. I gotta go up to this place. They have it's a really nasty place. It's a pig farm, but what the job that I'm doing is for their they have a cafeteria and they have a big grease pit and they just need somebody to haul the grease to the wastewater place. So that's what I'm going to go do. It's a pretty simple job. I don't even have to go into the facility. So that's always a win. And then I got to go to the wastewater, which wastewater it's pretty clean over there. And it's easy, quick little hook up and pump out and call it good. I'm always real weary on putting pressure on things though, because they're always like, "Oh yeah, just pressure off into this." I don't know. Vacuuming, I have no problem vacuuming. Like it's a pretty easy thing, but I don't know, pressuring off. It's also an easy thing. I like to pressure off into an open tank though, like where there's no head pressure or anything, and whenever I'm pressurizing a system that I'm not super familiar with, I'm just like, I don't know, man. I feel like something's gonna fucking blow. And that's how I feel at this wastewater place. But it'll be fine. It'll be all right. We've done it several times. I just like to. I don't like because it's got a blow off valve on this truck. It's got two different blow off valves and a couple of them I think. So vacuum, like if it's pulling too much vacuum, it'll only pull like 20 pounds of vacuum, and anything else, it'll open up a little relief valve, so it won't ever pull too much vacuum and collapse the truck. And then same thing for the pressure. It's got a pressure relief valve, kind of like a turbo, but this is not a turbo. This is a vacuum truck. So whenever I'm pushing pressure out, but it just builds pressure so efficiently that I'm like, I don't know if that blow off valve, it's never showed me that it doesn't, but I'm just like, if that blow off valve, both of them somehow fail, this thing's it's gonna be uh, an exciting thing dealing with pressure. Much rather deal with vacuum. But no, pretty simple job. I guess I took a little bit of that methylene blue stuff. I ordered some. It's it's been around for a long time. I think I don't do a good job of explaining it to people because I think it's always like the high point is to talk about how it used to be used as a dye, a clothing dye back in the day. But that was so long ago, and like there's been so many different studies and shit done to it that it started out as that. You can also use a boot as a door stop. Okay, doesn't mean that it's not good for other things, and it's just like people don't really take it seriously enough. I don't know, but it's an actual supplement now. It's not. They use it in multiple different ways. They do use it as a dye for clothing, I think, in some spots, but I think they started using some other stuff. Um, they also use it to decaffeinate coffee, which I found out right as I was squirting it in my coffee. I was like, that's oh, whoops. But it's got many different uses. It's also used in cancer treatments for identifying irregular cells because it will dye them blue. And so it's easier to see with the medical equipment and stuff. It's part of science and fucking medical shit. I'm not good at either. But these are just studies that I've looked up several different studies on it, and there are like no side effects. They're like, you might get a headache. You might get a headache, and if any side effects are going to happen, it's going to happen within like 30 minutes or whatever of taking it. And it's a very safe thing to be taking. It will turn your piss completely green, like straight up green. And I haven't taken enough of it for it to turn it like a deep green, like grass or something, or even blue. Like it could end up turning blue. I mean, just depends on how hydrated you are, I guess, because the yellow pigment in there or whatever. But I don't think that's going to be a thing that I'm going to take every single day. I think it's just going to be a thing that I'm going to take every now and again, just to help boost it up. Some people take it instead of SSRIs, the fucking uh, shit for depression and stuff. Some people take it in. You can't take both. That's where there have been some studies that have shown some bad symptoms. Is whenever you're mixing that with SSRIs, like depression meds. I don't take anything like that, so I figured I'm all right. But it's a mood booster. It's brain health and support. It helps out cells in the body like the mitochondria and shit. I don't know. It does some good shit, and there's been so many studies done on it. Yes, it started out as a fabric dye, but upon testing it to make sure it's safe to even put in on clothing and keep it on your skin, because you're wearing your jeans and shirts and stuff that have been dyed. They had to test it to make sure it's not like going to give people rashes and shit. So if you're not allergic to blue jeans, you're probably not allergic to this supplement. Which I don't know anybody that's allergic to blue jeans, but yeah, it's I did take some of it. You got to take quite a bit, which is kind of, I don't know, just the several different dosage charts that I've seen. It's you need to take 1 milligram per kilogram of body weight, and that's a lot because I'm like, I looked it up. I'm like 113 or 110 kilograms, so that means I need to take like 50 shots or 50 drops a day to be within my range or whatever. For me, I took I took about 10 drops the first, that was Saturday night. I took 10 drops. I took another 10 drops in the morning, and then I took another 10 drops once I got to my mom's house, just because I thought it was interesting. I was going to show everybody. I was hoping my stepdad would do it. He's like, nah, 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 nah. I ain't doing no special meds until I've had I've done my own analysis. I'm like, that's fair. That's fair. But RFK, the reason it's gotten real popular is somebody was filming RFK and in an airplane, and he was putting some sort of a blue dropper dye stuff into his water, and then drank it. And people were like, "What the fuck is that?" And he's like a health nut type of guy. So I was like, "Hey, I think I'll take it," and I bought some. It's pretty cheap, and I don't think it's something you need to take every day. I don't think it's like a supplement you need to take every single day. I think I'm gonna do it like maybe just on the weekends, or just every now and again when I think about it, because the effects, they go into effect really quickly, and I don't think I'm at a point where I need to be taking that every fucking day. But I took it, and yeah, I got the green pea, no side effects, nothing bad, everything's good. Um, and I don't know. It's I didn't really, I felt a little bit different, but I don't know if that was enough to claim that was because of the methylene blue stuff. So whatever, I don't know. Anyways, I got to get off of here because I'm going to be pulling up to my job site, and I think I need to make a phone call before I get there. So keep all 18 down, adios, and we'll see you later. Bye bye.